how I think about it as a metaphor is that the work we do is kind of slow dislodging and not uprooting. And so when you're doing careful dislodging, then you have to be very mindful of how you're tending the earth, and you're not just yanking and you're not applying a lot of pressure. It's kind of slow, and you kind of feel the earth, and you have to understand how it feels under your hand, and the earth has to feel you. And so that's what I hope I'm doing, that there's a careful dislodging and not an uprooting of the ways someone has been living their lives.
But I think we're always willing to be there with someone in their suffering. We're there with them, but we're not seduced by the problem. We're like, yes, this is here. I can keep company with your anguish, and let's look how you're, the steps you're taking or what you're staying true to despite this problem, and expand that and move that forward. So I feel like we're doing that. Connecting. It's not a shying away of a problem, but it's a particular way of holding the problem, outside of their character, outside of their identity, and not totalizing them into the problem, but looking for all these new ways of stepping forward despite the problem.
Also why I teach and supervise as sort of an entry level. I'm trying to catch people's excitement as they're entering the profession and steer them in the direction of these values if possible. Because I know how much they mean to me, I know how much they mean to my clients.
Which values in particular?
The values that you mentioned of the way we've learned to stand in relation to other people, to be respectful of who they are, to be focused on what's possible rather than focused on what's happened, to focus on what they want for themselves rather than on what we might want for them. And then personally, the same thing you were saying, perhaps, Charlie, the endlessly invigorating experience of being in hopeful conversations all the time. I recently a couple had a great big fight in my office, and it kind of resolved while we were there. So it was really beginning, middle, and end of them. Started out terrible and ended up okay, and we were all feeling kind of okay about it. And they said, like, "Oh God, this must be exhausting. What do you do for fun?" And I said, "This," because it's just true.
Yeah.
Right. I do enjoy that. I enjoy seeing what people can do. Now, if the session had ended without any steps forward, it might not have been as fun, but it's still fun. It still enlivens me.
I feel so fortunate to have work that is so deeply gratifying, and I think that for me personally, one of the challenges as I grow older and I have more and more people retiring, and it's like, wow, how could I ever retire from this work? Like, I can see slowing down and hopefully creating more space, but my intention is to really live and help other people to live a sense with more purpose and more sense of meaning in our lives, and connectedness.
And in my previous life, I was an actor for many years, and then I've been doing this work for about 20 years. And about 10 years ago, I stepped out of retirement and returned to the theater to do a play that a friend of mine was directing, who happened to be in Los Angeles. And I arranged it all so that I could see clients on off days and blah 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 blah. And we got to opening night, and we opened and got reviews, and it was like boom, and we were doing it, and it was a 6-week run of the play. And I remember, like, at the end of the first week of the run, standing in the wings waiting to go on for my entrance and thinking, oh my God, haven't we already told this freaking story? And it just really, it just reminded me of what I so appreciate about my professional work as a narrative therapist, to be continually a part of the ever-evolving generative stories that we have the privilege to engage and be a part of every day. And those next 5 weeks were pretty hellish because it was like Groundhog Day, just the same story over and over. And it kind of reminded me of what I think a lot of people have as an experience of therapy sometimes, when it doesn't point in the direction of possibility and values and goals. What are your hopes for your life? So.